Solutions. Today, we're getting into managing chronic pain. Oh, let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, I am. If you overdo it to meet a deadline at work or you overcommit yourself so that you're always running from one thing to the next, like we tend to do, your body reaches a point where it can't keep up. Your body gets tired, your pain increases, and you get frustrated because your mind wants to go, but your body is just like, no, ma'am, no, sir, we aren't going anywhere. So, in order to combat this, we're going to talk about three key areas to help manage your chronic pain. Those areas are balance, moderation, and changing your habits. So if I was on Family Feud and Steve Harvey asked me what are the top 5 countries with the worst work-life balance, I would have confidently said the US. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, that would be the wrong answer. We are, in fact, ranked the second best country for work life balance. So let's make sure we're adding to the positive number two. I don't know if this surprised you guys, but it did. I just imagined the hustle and bustle that I experience, that I see my coworkers, friends, and family, and just people in general experience. And I said, I know a ton of people that take their work home with them. The workday doesn't end at 5 or 6. It's in fact continuing after they eat dinner, maybe, and well into the wee hours of the early morning. So I was surprised, but apparently, according to this chart, which was in 2019, that was compiled in 2019, we're doing pretty well. So we're going to talk about how we make sure that we're staying in the pretty well and managing our work-life balance. So what is a healthy balance? A day that includes time for work, talking to or hanging out with your family and friends, hobbies, exercise, relaxing, self-care, and a number of other things. So how do we do that? We do that by making time our friend and becoming more organized. So as far as making time your friend, I like to think, and I've seen this on social media, and I'm sure you guys have as well. People like to say, Beyonce has 24 hours in the day, the same 24 hours as me. If she can get up and do X, Y, Z, conquer the world, go on tour, record albums, and take care of all her kids and work, I can do that too. Now, of course, Beyonce has some help, but there still comes a point where she has to plan to make sure that she's accomplishing everything. So I like to apply that to my life as well. I have to plan. So schedule your day so that you make time for what you have to do and have time for what you want to do. Write down all your activities, whether this be an actual journal like you see in the picture, or an app on your phone, or a wall calendar. Just write it down. Then refer to it throughout the day to make sure you stay on track. Planning also helps the overcommitters out there to not double up on commitments. I've been personally victimized by procrastination. So what I have started to do was actually plan my day. I have a small little notebook, and I just write out tasks that I want to accomplish while I'm at work for the day. And I check them off throughout the day, and that helps kind of keep me focused, keeps my mind from wandering, gives me a goal to shoot for. And at the end of the day, I feel pretty accomplished when I get them all done. So planning, I can attest to, is really good. Okay. Recognize patterns. Notice when you waste time. Like when you wake up in the morning, do you stay in bed just staring into space for another 30 minutes when you could be getting started on your morning routine? No, just me? Okay, but there's other stuff that we could be doing during time when we call ourselves chilling, but we're really wasting time. So recognize the pattern and avoid wasting that precious time. Prioritize. This is when the wants and needs come into play. If you're involved in many activities that are constantly competing for your time, pick the most important and let the rest go. You may find that some of the stuff on your list were priorities for others and not necessarily yours. And it's common, it happens. You have a family, you have stuff you have to take care of for them, or you have your friends, and you take on some of their responsibilities, some of their tasks, and it becomes a priority. I've heard the saying before, and you guys may have heard it as well. Lack of preparation on your behalf does not constitute an emergency on mine. Now, that could be difficult to implement at first because you don't want to just switch right from yes, 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 yes to no, 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 no. However, you do have to make sure that you're prioritizing and getting stuff done that needs to be done and putting stuff to the side that doesn't need to be done right then. Doesn't mean you won't ever get to it, but right then it can't take priority because we're not trying to tire our bodies out. And delegate. On the days where you have planned, but your day is still jam packed, ask somebody for help or allow someone else to take responsibility for certain tasks. This may be challenging for those who like to have their hand in all the pots, but in order to decrease your stress, let go of that task physically and mentally. And mentally is important because you may have assigned somebody else to do something, but if you're going to stand over them and micromanage and change everything and oh, where are you with this? Oh, I would do it this way and I would do it this way. You really haven't delegated. You're just micromanaging and you're holding on to it, which in that point you might as well do it yourself. But the point is to delegate so that you can take that time and do something else. Get that off of your plate and trust that the person that you're giving it to is capable to do it. Evaluate. So you want to evaluate at the end of the day what went well. What, okay, so I prioritized this, I planned that, I delegated this. This went well. This person did good with that. So I'm going to continue doing that. Or I could have set aside more time to plan to do this over here. I could have set aside more time to for lunch. So you think about what went well and what you'd like to continue. So that's making time your friend. Now that you have more time, be organized with that time. So you want to think before you act. Before you start a new task or activity, think about what you'll need and make a list if appropriate. So if you're going cooking, make a list of the ingredients needed to avoid multiple trips to different stores and wasting time. Oftentimes, every store doesn't have exactly what you need. So you may have to go to Target for one thing, Publix for another thing, Walmart for another thing. Well, if you made a list for all of that, then you would know. You would know you have to go to each specific store. You can do that all at one time instead of getting home and getting ready to cook and realize that you need to go out again. Also, a lot of these stores have the drive up option. That's a good thing too. So keep commonly used items handy. If you know you use something every day, keep it close or in a designated space. You use your car keys every day or your house keys. You need those. So consider investing in a key hook or bowl to sit your keys in when you come in the door. This will save you time from looking for the keys and help you reduce your chances of pain by not having to flip couches and other furniture looking for them. Or if you know you need water in the middle of the night, you're just thirsty for whatever reason. Keep you a bottle or a glass of water on your nightstand by your bed so that you don't have to keep getting up in the middle of the night, going upstairs, downstairs, or just, walking in the dark room all the way to the kitchen to get your water. That'll help you sleep better. And it just helps. It just helps across the board to already have that there. And reducing clutter. Organize your workspaces, your closets, and things of that nature, just so you can find things easily. That'll save you time and reduce stress. And then take time for leisure. So we're living in a day where we have to, most times, plan time to just sit, to just be, to just exist, and not feel guilty about it. You don't have to feel guilty because you're choosing not to. Uh, do another task that's been on your list. You've planned out time to sit down and read a book. You've planned out time to visit with your friends. You've just planned out time. We have to do that because again, we're trying to not be on the go all the time. We're trying not to wear our body down even more. We're already dealing with pain. And if we don't take time to just be, to just exist, we're adding to the problem. Um, I saw this quote somewhere. I'm paraphrasing it, but basically it said, doing nothing is still doing something, and it's a form of self care. So keep that in mind as you go about your day. Next key is moderation. So, by moderating activities, you can improve your ability to accomplish daily and weekly tasks without increasing pain levels or fatigue. That's key. You want to improve your ability to accomplish the task, but you don't want to increase your pain levels. So, how do we do this? Break apart lengthy tasks. So, long tasks often zap your energy and may increase your pain. Instead of spending all day gardening or cleaning out your closet or whatever you're doing, plan to spend an hour or two working on it over a couple of days. Write it down so you'll stick to it. And don't add to the task. So, if you're gardening and you're saying, okay, I'm going to pull up these weeds today, while that's your task for the day, don't get in there weeding and whatnot and say, okay, now I'm going to plant this and this. Don't do that because that just adds more pressure to you. That adds more stuff to the task that you're trying to break apart. So plan it, break it apart, and write it down so you'll stick to it. Alternate activities. Mix activities that require a lot of effort with activities that require a little bit of effort. So if you're cleaning out the garage for an hour, then sit down and fold laundry. You'll probably have to take a shower in between there. So that's up to you. You can switch that around. But the point is to do something that takes a lot of energy or that could take a lot of energy. And after you finish that, switch it up with something that, doesn't take as much energy, preferably one where you can rest, whether that be sitting down or anything like that. Work at a moderate pace. Instead of rushing through a task, take your time and work at a comfortable speed. One where you're working hard but not overdoing it. You use twice as much energy working at a fast pace compared to a moderate pace. So it may take you a little longer, but you'll feel better in the end. And also, like when you're rushing through stuff, you may not be giving it your all. You may not be doing your best. And I know there's people that say they work best under pressure, they work best under deadlines and in the 11th hour, but it doesn't have to be that way, especially if you're already dealing with pain. You don't need that added stress onto your plate. And then change the frequency of tasks. Some tasks may be less tiresome and daunting if you break them up and do them more often. Laundry day. So you may do laundry day every Sunday. So all throughout the week, remember you've been gardening, you've been cleaning out your closet, and oh, you started working out. So now you have those workout clothes. All those clothes have built up, and that's just for you. You got your family's clothes. They've all built up all throughout the week. So you're literally spending all day Sunday um, doing laundry. So you're tired, you're tired, and it may seem like it's daunting because it's a huge pile of clothes or several piles. Break that up throughout the week. So instead of doing it one time a week, maybe you do laundry on Wednesdays, catch a midweek, wash, fold, put up, what have you, and then do it again on Sundays. And if two times is enough, do it three times. Just make it convenient for you, make it more efficient for you. Okay. So changing your habits. Pain management includes looking for new and more efficient ways to perform everyday tasks. And I said pain management, but really that's just what we should aim for even when we're not in pain. There's always a new and more efficient way to do something that we're already doing. And why work harder when we can work smarter? So we want to avoid actions that consume energy and aggravate our pain, all the bending, the squatting, the reaching, and examples of simple ways you can modify your day. So I'm just going to go through a few of these. So while getting dressed, if you pick out your clothes ahead of time and have them all ready, whether it be laid on the couch or laid on the chair, you don't have to be reaching around and trying to reach up at the top, bending down to get your shoes. You can have that all together. And sit down when you're putting on your clothes. Sometimes we're in a rush in the morning, so we're rushing out the door trying to put on our shirt. We're doing the little 1-2 hop, and we're trying to get our pants on. And we're falling over stuff, knocking stuff over. I hope we're not getting ready in that frantic state, but sometimes it happens. So sit down while you're trying to do that. And then avoid clothes that button or tie in the back. It's aggravating, one, because you can't reach it. I know I've come in a plenty of time and I didn't do the top button on the back of my neck, and I got to ask somebody to do it for me. But that's just on a normal circumstance. If you're having back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, or anything like that, it's aggravating the pain to try and reach back and grab a button, or reach back and grab a zipper to drag up the back. So try to avoid stuff like that. And then in the kitchen, bend your knees and not your back to reach items on lower shelves. Organize your shelves so that stuff that you reach for or utilize more are within easy reach. So if you know that you use seasoned salt every day, or Himalayan salt, or whatever you're using, don't put it way on the top shelf so where you have to reach for it every day. Put it down there where you can get to it easily. Use electrical appliances when possible, such as an electric mixer or a can opener. Listen, these things were invented to to help us be more efficient. There's no reason why we should have to be, cranking that can opener around, aggravating the pain in our wrist, when they got a whole gadget that's reasonably priced. I didn't say go get a KitchenAid, but they have a whole gadget that's reasonably priced that does it for you. We can work smarter. And around the house. So when you're dusting, you can get a long Swiffer. Those handles are come extendable, and you can reach that ceiling fan. You can reach around corners and stuff. That way you don't have to bend down, get on your knees to hit these corners with a cloth and a rag or whatever you're dusting with. This one was a new one for me, using your legs, not your arm, to move the vacuum cleaner. And I was thinking, why would that matter? But if you have one of those old vacuum cleaners, the ones where the salespeople would come to your door, what is it, the Kirby and stuff, those things are heavy. So pushing that with your arms can cause more pain. Push it with your legs. Your legs generally have more strength in them. So push it with your legs. Now, if you have one of the newer vacuums that are lightweight, foldable, they're designed to not take up a lot of space or be heavy to maneuver, that one probably won't apply. And then when you're doing laundry, instead of bending over, you have your basket outside and you're taking the clothes out the dryer to put them in the basket. Instead of bending over to do that, sit on a stool, bring a stool out to take them out and put them in there. You'll be more comfortable, and it might help you to go faster because you're not having to stand up and do your little back stretch to stretch yourself out because you've been bent over for all that long time. And then with outdoors, a number of things. Mow your lawn with a self-propelled lawnmower, use a wheeled cart to move heavy items, and all that stuff. So caring for others. We talked about creating balance, caring for yourself, I'm sorry. We talked about creating balance and changing habits, but not caring for yourself can also aggravate your pain. There's a number of ways to care for yourself. I'm just going to highlight a few. So get more sleep, control your weight, and learning positive self-talk. Adults should aim for 7 to 9 hours each night to receive the most benefit from sleep. Sleep restores you mentally, emotionally, and physically. And if you aren't sleeping well, there's a number of reasons why that could be happening, but it could be because your pain is keeping you awake. So tips to help you sleep better. Establish regular sleep hours. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, even on weekends. And don't try to sleep. The harder you try, the more awake you'll become because you'll just be anxious, looking at the clock like, oh my goodness, I'm supposed to be asleep, but I'm up. What am I going to do? So don't try to sleep. If you're having trouble, you can read a book, watch television until you become drowsy and then fall asleep naturally. And then watch what you eat. A light snack may help you relax before sleeping, but we should avoid heavy meals right before we go to sleep because it is sitting on our stomach, one, but they can stimulate stomach acid production, which could cause heartburn and all that stuff. All that stuff is keeping you up. Avoid or limit naps. Naps can make it harder to fall asleep at night. I am an avid nap taker, and sometimes I struggle with falling asleep. So that applies to me. And then schedule worry time. sometimes when we're laying in the bed and we're trying to go to sleep, we're thinking about all the stuff that we need to do, all the stuff that we haven't done. Take some time right before the bed to think about it. If you can't address it, address it. If not, write it down so that it's out your head. Okay. Controlling our weight. So it's easier to manage your pain when you're not overweight. Losing even a few pounds may help you reduce your level of pain. The best way to lose weight is safely and to keep it off permanently. So, how do we do that? We make a commitment to ourselves. We have to be motivated to lose weight because a lot of times um, we have to be motivated to lose weight and commit to ourselves because a lot of times we won't feel like it. So we have to have that goal. We have to have our reason why to keep going for it, to make it routine. Think positively. We need to dwell on what you're giving up. I'm sorry, you need to dwell on not what you're giving up, but what you're gaining. So instead of thinking, I really miss eating at the Soul Food Bistro, think about, okay, I feel better when I'm not achy in the morning, or when my stomach's not all bloated, or when I have more energy because I'm fueling my body with better food. So change the way we're thinking. And then set a realistic goal. Don't aim for something that's unrealistic. If you've always been overweight, aim for a weight that will help you reduce pressure on your joints and muscles and improve your energy levels, because that's important. You don't want to say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in a month. You just don't want to do that. It's unrealistic and it's dangerous. And which brings us into slow and steady. A good weight loss plan generally involves losing no more than 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's a good goal. That's where we should aim to be. And we'll get to that 50 over time if that's your goal. Know your habits. So a lot of times, or oftentimes when we're eating, we may not even really be hungry. So think about when you're getting ready to eat. Are you bored? Are you angry? Are you tired? Are you depressed? Think about what your triggers are and identify ways where you can avoid it. So if you're eating because you're anxious, instead of eating, practice a relaxation technique, go on a walk, do something that makes you happy but doesn't involve food. Now, if you're hungry, eat. But if not, don't. Eating better. So while food can't control your pain necessarily, a nutritionally balanced diet can improve the way you feel in addition to helping you lose weight. I encourage you guys all to reach out to our dietitian, John Redenberg. I have his contact information at the end of the PowerPoint so that he can work with you and customize a nutrition plan that will help you reach your goals in a safe and healthy way. Get and stay active. Aim to exercise at least 30 minutes a day at a moderate but comfortable intensity. Get those joints moving in a way that you can. So if your knees hurt you all the time, maybe you can try, what is it called? Swim aerobics. That's not the name of it, but you get swimming in a pool. It's easier on your joints, you're lighter, but it's still a good workout. So just try to get 30 minutes of activity each day to get your joints moving and keep them moving. And then learn positive self-talk. It starts in your head. There are so many ways to cope with changes and emotions chronic pain can produce. And one of these ways is positive self-talk. So you'll see, I have on here, I have no control over my happiness. Pain controls me. And you may feel like that, but you have to redirect your thoughts to, I can control my happiness. I can enjoy life regardless of pain. So plug in whatever negative thought that you always have that comes up often and switch that to a positive or something that's rational, because sometimes nobody else is thinking that but us. I'm no longer loved and appreciated. I'm sure you're the only people that think like that. And other people are, yes, you are appreciated, but you should think that as well. So finally, smart goal setting. Goal setting is an important part of pain management, especially when you're making lifestyle changes. They give you something to strive for. Your goals should be specific. So what exactly are you going to do? It should be straightforward. Try to set a goal that you can achieve within a week or a month. Measurable. A goal is meaningless if you have no way of telling whether or not you achieved it. I want to feel better. What does that mean? How do you know when you feel better? What is that? And attainable. You want to make sure that your goal is within a reasonable reach. If it is too far out your reach, it's going to be difficult to commit to, especially because it's new. I like to use this example. I don't like to run and I don't run. So setting a goal to run a marathon is out of my reach. So I'm not going to want to do it. However, training for and completing a 5K is more attainable. And then I can work myself up to a marathon. And if a 5K was too much, okay, maybe I start with doing 2 miles a day on the treadmill. There's always a step that you can take to make the goal more attainable. And then relevant or realistic. Is this goal realistic to me? Your goal should be within your capabilities, things you can control. Don't set a goal with something that you can't directly control, because it'll be hard for you to achieve that. Then you're depending on something else. So make sure it's something that you can grasp, make something that's directly related to what you can control. And then timely. Set a time frame for your goal so you have a clear target to work towards. Don't just have okay, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 6 months. So I said what I'm going to do. I was specific. It's measurable because I can get on the scale, and it's attainable and it's relevant. So I put a time on it, 6 months. If I just say I'm going to lose 20 pounds, well, when? That could go on for years. So it doesn't give me a clear target to work towards. Okay. So these are some examples of SMART goals. So instead of saying I will eat more vegetables, I will exercise more, I will work on my sleep, you say I will pack celery or carrots in my lunch each day. I want to point out there's other vegetables that you can eat and have a nutritious diet other than celery, carrots, or kale, but that's the example that we used here. Instead of I will exercise more, I will walk briskly 30 minutes each morning before work. And instead of I will work on my sleep, I will make a sleep schedule to sleep between 7.5 to 8 hours per night. So whatever goal that you create, make sure that it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And these are some examples. And then finally, resources. You do not have to make any of these changes on your own. We have resources. They're free and confidential. We have the CHAMP Center, the Center for Healthy Minds and Practice. They're available via appointment only. And then the Employee Assistance Program, that is also free for you and your dependents. There's their contact information. And then the nutrition counseling that I spoke of earlier, John Bredenberg, he is in our office. He is taking appointments via Zoom as well as in person, so you can determine which one is best for you. And we do have a pick a time link so you can schedule, but if you call that number or just email us, we'll be able to get you set up. And then general wellness counseling with anybody on the wellness team. So that's myself, that's Nick Tennant, that's Felicia Brinkley, and John. We all can do some general wellness counseling. So bottom line is we're here to help you. You're not alone, and we can get through and help you manage your chronic pain. And that is the end of the Explore the Pathways program. Does anybody have any questions?